today we're going to be talking about 5 key strategies to stop you burning out when you're trying to scale your business, or maybe you've got it off the ground but you're just kind of wondering, how do I stop burning out? If that's you, this video is for you. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Comment in the sections below if there's anything you think I'm missing, and with that said, we'll get stuck into the video. Amortization, bit of a difficult one to say that. So my first number 1 key tip, and I know everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, we know about that at all, is to use AI. It's literally your best friend. So like, you can do so many things with it, and like, there's loads of stuff that I don't even know you can do with it, to be honest. But you can do all the way from your marketing strategy. So you can say to like ChatGPT, I want like a list of like preloaded posts for my socials, and they must have certain criteria to it or whatever. You can plug whatever you want. I mean, literally, I was trying to find a name for a networking event that I wanted to kind of give a sort of exclusive, but not aimed at anyone in particular, but senior people in businesses, not property focused or whatever. And it was so useful. It came out with all suggestions and the rest of it. And you can talk to it like it's your pal down the pub. It also does loads of things like processes and various legal documents. It can search the internet. Obviously you need to police it because it is picking its information up from the internet. So there are pros and cons, but AI, generally speaking, whether you use it in conjunction with things like Canva and ChatGPT or whatever you're going to do with it, it's a massive time saver, and that will stop you from burning out thinking, oh, I need to go home and preload a load of Facebook posts, or maybe write some policies on mobile phone usage because I've taken my first member of staff on, or whatever it might be. So try and use ChatGPT, any other AI related stuff. I mean, Apple are bringing out on their phone, and I'm sure there are other things available soon as well, and really utilize that into your daily basis. Anybody who knows me quite closely knows I am an absolute massive fan of using like Hey Siri, which will probably make my watch go off in a minute, but although it didn't go because I had it face down. But basically, or the iPad in front of me is going, the irony, hey. So basically, I'm a big fan of that, talking to stuff, getting things to do that, and that AI stuff is really, really, really super important in stopping you from burning out. Just to emphasize with the AI, it does take its information from the internet. So it's really, really good if you just keep asking it questions. If you talk about my question of, can you come up with a name for this new networking club that I'm looking at doing, then basically you can just keep asking it, saying, I want a bit more specific. Give me 5 more. Give me a few more. Can we drop the word property and stuff? And it will keep going until you're basically bored of dealing with it, or you found your problem, or you've got your document that you want. So yeah, just make sure that you kind of really engage with it. Make sure you do police what's coming out of it as well, because it is only using the internet to gather that data. But yes, use ChatGPT, any other AI things, there's plenty of them at all. That's obviously the most popular one, but they work in conjunction with a lot of apps and third-party programs now. My second tip is to set realistic goals. I mean, I'm a big fan of saying to people, you shouldn't, most people underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years and overestimate what they can achieve in a year. I think that's a really good kind of analogy of most people's goal setting. But a lot of people set these massive goals for year 1, like they're going to do all of this and they're going to take over the world and they're going to buy 500 properties, or they're going to get 10,000 customers. And they've got no basis of where that is. That's just their goal. And I think actually that goal is probably more likely their 10-year goal. And it's very demoralizing if you kind of set yourself these massive targets and then never achieve them. So set yourself realistic targets. If your business has grown by 5% every single year, why don't you just try setting yourself a target trying to go at 10 or 15%, not doubling it and, well, quadrupling it or whatever up to like 100% increase. let's just start with something that's realistic and achievable. You have to take into consideration all of the other things you've got ongoing, and also sometimes when you grow rapidly, it can actually become even more of a headache because you've got to manage all these new things that have come along very, very quickly and been thrown at you, like new processes, staffing requirements and the rest of it. They will come at you at the speed of light if you're kind of quadrupling in size, and you'll end up with loads and loads of inefficiencies in your business where you've just picked up various costs and bits and bobs over time because you're rushing. So make sure you'll set your goals and they are realistic, achievable and actionable, and they don't put you under any unnecessary stress. So my third tip, I almost put 4 up then, so this is the third tip, just so you know. That is to set aside time for your family, for your hobbies and gym, exercise, whatever it is, your stuff that you do outside of work. I'm pretty guilty of this, so I even get in my own gym gear and then I'll never even make it to the gym because the phone will ring, the staff will come to me or whatever. So you need to make sure you put aside that time in order for you to actually fulfill your kind of stuff that isn't work. You've got to retain you, you're the person. Don't let the business like kind of completely swallow you up and burn you out. Make sure you do those things. Sometimes it will mean that you have to get up early because you've committed to kind of like 9 till maybe 7, 8 at 9 at night, like a kind of 10 to 12 hour day, who knows. But just make sure you get down the gym in the morning, do your hobby, whatever it might be. The weekend comes around, make sure you've made some time for that kind of stuff. We're all guilty of like not putting that time aside. I go to the gym a little bit. I also like eating, which is why I'm kind of still a bit fat and I have a porch over my gentleman's area. But that aside, you just need to make time to do those things that you like to do, and really make sure that you don't kind of get burnt out by just shoving everything to the side. I think there was a guy who said, if you can't make time for exercise or enjoyment now, you're going to have to make time for illness when you're older. So just bear that in mind, everybody. Right, and my fourth tip here is to delegate or outsource. So delegation, so basically you get to a certain size and you're going to end up at a point where you're going to be the bookkeeper, the coffee maker, the person that cleans the office, the person that opens up in the morning and closes at evening time. And like, it's all consuming, but at some point you're going to have to start delegating or at least outsourcing. So obviously I'm a big fan in the early days of outsourcing. We have an outsourcing company, the We Group, if anybody wants any assistance with that. You can do things like bookkeeping can be outsourced. You can be looking at doing your general administration, your recruitment, any office admin, all that kind of stuff. And those guys will be so much better and more efficient than you are at it. So imagine if you employ someone or outsource and delegate that work to them, and what are you going to be doing instead of doing that time? So hands up everybody, and you know who you are. You sit at home Sunday evening and you think, I better reconcile my books, I better pop onto my Xero or Sage or whatever bit of software you do, chase some debts along, reconcile some various transactions and the rest of it, and upload my expenses receipts for the week. Well, you could be spending that time with your family, not reaching burnout, or you could be spending that time doing something that actually is earning money rather than you actually spending time doing tasks that you can kind of outsource to somebody at a much cheaper rate. So you might be charging yourself at £100 an hour, you pay someone say £14 an hour to do some bookkeeping for you or something like that if you employ them, or even if you outsource it and it's double that, it's still a lot less than the £100 an hour that you could be charging out for your time and making sure that your business is growing. So delegation, outsourcing, that kind of stuff, that's a real key tip to not reaching burnout. Stop doing those expenses receipts on a Sunday afternoon when the kids are gone to bed. Give it to someone to do on a Monday morning. Right, and my fifth key tip to not reaching burnout is make sure you switch off from work when you actually finish work. So I was guilty of this for a number of years. It's really hard as a business owner. You kind of got all the stuff whirling around in your head and you think to yourself, well, you know, what if I stop doing this? I need to do that. Think of that on Monday. And yes, to some degree, that's never going to go away. And that's part and parcel of running a business until you get to the point where you're working on the business, not in it. And even when you're working on the business, not in it, you're still probably thinking about the business at all hours of the day. day. So make sure you have that time so that if you do put aside some time for your family or your hobbies, it's not constant barrage for stuff. I mean, I used to go out maybe 5-6 years ago and I'd go and play golf. The second I lost a ball, I'd walk the rest of the hole answering emails because I felt like I needed to keep on top of that. So that is not a good, healthy thing to do. So what you need to do is make sure your phone or tablets or whatever you've got with you basically have a setting on them so you're not bombarded with notifications, text message, WhatsApps. You can't see all of your emails racking up. You need that time. I know it's really difficult and you think, I'm not sure my business is even going to be there if I leave it alone for 15 minutes. Well, lo and behold, most businesses are kind of going to tick over and be okay if you're going to leave them for a few hours or a week's holiday or whatever. It is hard. I totally understand that, and it's a real mindset thing. But as you grow, you need to make sure that you really do disconnect. When you switch off, you switch off. You don't switch off light and have your phone over the corner like it's some sort of like, you know, addiction or something that you need to go and check the emails every 5 minutes. People do expect fairly prompt replies to emails, but definitely they're going to wait a few hours, if not a day, for a reply. That's quite normal. And as your business grows, you'll feel more pressure to not be like that. But actually, the reality is when people want to get hold of you, they're going to recognize that you're the business owner and you sit at a position in the business where perhaps you're running 24, 48 hours behind with your emails because you can't keep on top of them. So you maybe consider outsourcing, having your emails managed as well at that point, just so that you can stay on top of your clients. So those are my 5 key tips that are really going to help people, I hope, not reach that kind of burnout when you're trying to grow a business. It's inherently difficult and you do have to put in the long days and the rest. I'm not getting away from any of that at all. You've got to put the early legwork in and so on. But a time comes where either it's not working and maybe you need to move on to something else, or it is working and you need to then readdress that balance in your life. So hopefully those 5 key tips will help you when you get to that point. So hopefully you really like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, all that kind of stuff. It really does us proud, because the more people of you that hit the like button or subscribe or whatever, you won't miss out on any of the videos, but it lets YouTube know that you like the video and therefore it will recommend it to other people. And who knows, even if you don't feel like these tips are any use to you, if you hit that like button, it might recommend it to somebody else who does feel that those tips are useful. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, follow us on all the social media, and I'll see you in the next video.